Hey guys, I'm here today with my 1 month 1 palette video. It is May update and talking about what palette I'm going to be using for the month of June. Last month I showed you all the palettes I had left and asked you to tell me what palette to vote on, what palette I would use for May, and the votes were pretty much almost tied. So the palette I ended up using this month was the Laura Mercier Artist Palette. And it was really nice to use this one because they had just recently brought it back. This was from 2013. They had recently brought it back at Sephora, and I know it was available during the VIB sale. I don't know if it's still available, but I know a lot of people had recently picked it up. So it was kind of good timing to go ahead and use this. And I have to say, I didn't enjoy it at all. It was unenjoyable. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at that. Overall, it was just a very purpley toned palette. I like purple shadow okay. I went through a phase where I used to really enjoy purple. I need to put something over the mirror so it's not so blinding. It was just, I don't want to wear purple toned eyeshadows every day. It's kind of how I felt about the Naked 3 palette. It was just, I don't know. It's not that I'm saying like I don't want to have a lot of makeup. I don't want it to be fun, but I don't want to keep a palette that's just like, oh, I may reach for it every once in a blue moon. I don't know. I want my palettes to be ones that I love reaching for. I can take it somewhere and use it for a week or a weekend and really enjoy it. And if there's only one color in a palette, then I don't want to keep a palette just for the one color. So overall, I'm going to say I'm going to pass this on. It's just, I didn't enjoy it. So let me go ahead and insert the clips here of some of the looks that I wore through the month, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Okay, for my first look that I've done, I decided to put this color, Bamboo all over the lid, Fresco in the crease to kind of blend it out, and then Truffle a little bit in the outer corner and kind of deepen it up a little bit, and Vanilla Nuts on the brow bone. I like how the overall color is, but I feel like it's just a little muddy. So. Hey guys, for this look today, I am using Fresco above the crease, Truffle a little bit lower in the crease, Bamboo all over the lid, Vanilla Nuts on the brow bone, and Guava on the inner corner. Okay, today I used Fresco and Truffle and mixed them together and blended them through the crease. Then I went in with Primrose and kind of patted it on my lids, but it didn't really provide any color. So I took Guava and patted it over that. Finished off with Vanilla Nuts on the brow bone and Sparkling Dew on the inner corner to kind of add a little more light. Okay, so as you can see from the clips, two of them I was wearing the exact same eye look. And that was not planned. Because when I film those clips, sometimes I film them like some at the beginning of the month because the palette's like kind of new and I'm working through it. And then sometimes I'll film one or two or whatever at the end of the month when it's kind of like the favorites. So the two looks that are the same, I left them in there on purpose so you would truly see that I was just kind of at a loss for looks. And I will go through the look I'm wearing today, which is a different eye look. I was wearing it today and I hadn't filmed it yet, so I decided to just wait and show you in the video. And I'll go ahead and do that real fast. And I started out with Fresco through the crease to kind of give it some warmth. African Violet on the lid. I went back with Fresco to kind of blend it out a little bit. And then I went in with Coeur Royale and kind of stamped it in the outer corners, and Vanilla Nuts on the brow bone as usual. And I have to say, today's look is probably one of my favorite looks that I've done with the palette. I really liked it. But I don't want to keep the whole palette for just African Violet. I mean, it is very pretty, don't get me wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I need a wet wipe now. But like I said, I don't want to keep this whole palette just because of one color. African Violet is in her regular line of shadows. So I could always pick it up one day if I wanted to. It may come out in a new palette one day that I think is fantastic. Sephora does those 20, you know, the 100 point perks and the 500 point perks with brands. There may be an option to get one of those. So overall, after really looking at the colors, that was the only one that I really liked. And I wouldn't even say it's a must-have. You know what I mean? So I don't want to keep it for that. I did one day wear it over a pink eyeshadow base, Maybelline Inked in Pink, and I didn't like it as much. I like to wear it by itself. So we'll just go ahead and go over all the shadows and I'll tell you how I felt about them all. Okay, I'm doing my phone up here because it's just easier, because if I don't, then that's just so flashy. This Sparkling Dew, I used it as an inner corner highlight a few times and it was fine. It wasn't anything wowing. Okay, this Guava color is sparkly, but it's very pretty. I'm going to kind of have to lean forward a little. It's very pretty, but it's not a must-have. African Violet is very, very pretty, but I can live without it. This one, Plum Smoke, I think I used it once, if that. Like I said, overall this was very purple and it just wasn't something I wanted to wear. Coeur Royale I used today for the first time when I stamped it in the outer corner. Violet Ink was just a very deep matte purple that wasn't something I was going for. You know, I don't have to love every shadow in a palette, but when there's more shadows I don't love than ones I love, then that tells me something. This Espresso Bean, it would be something I would stamp in the outer corner, but overall I don't feel like this palette has a lot of things that I could make a look that would give me that. This would be something I would use, I don't know, you know how you would use maybe MAC Mystery? I don't know, maybe I'd have to think about that. But I don't feel like this palette gives me a look that would be something I would use. This Truffle shade, it's just a little too dark for me for a crease color, and I don't really go for this kind of brown all that often. Bamboo was pretty, but for a color for a shade that color, like a shadow, it's kind of like a sandy, like a sandy color. And I would rather something be bronze or taupe, and instead it's just kind of left me like, eh. Fresco was a nice crease color. It was a little more on the pink side than ones I usually go for. It wasn't bad. This Primrose, one day I tried to use, it has zero pigmentation and payoff. It is absolute garbage. Vanilla Nuts was a perfect brow bone color. I have no complaints on that. So overall, the colors that I actually would say, I liked Vanilla Nuts, I liked African Violet, I liked Fresco, and then Guava, Bamboo, and Truffle are okay. Like, I like them fine. I don't love them though. So, you know, overall the palette was just a bit of a bummer for me. I hate to say that because I know a lot of people really love it, and I know a lot of people wanted to get their hands on it. So it's not it for me. So I'm going to mention this. I am going to do a vlog type sale the beginning of June. The reason I didn't go ahead and do it in May after I did that video is because I knew I wanted to include this in it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, if you're somebody that really likes the purple colors and you think this would be something for you, then the shadows are good. Other than Primrose, yeah, it was garbage. But other than that, the shades, I mean, they were fine. It's just, it's not for me. I don't need to have all like nudes and bronzy colors, but it just wasn't for me. So anyways, the shadow palette that came in second place easily was Stila in the Light, which I'm so happy. I've been wanting to use it for a while. I really wanted to use it instead of that, but I knew, well, first that got the most votes, and that was as good a time as any to use it. So this is what this looks like. It is a very bronzy, summery type eyeshadow palette. I have used this decently in the past. It's something I have gone to over and over. Now, Night Sky, I don't know if I will use it this month. I may get daring and try to use it for one look. This ebony color is black. It's not a shade I hate. It's just not something I really use very much. this dark brown, kind of same thing with there. I may stamp it in the outer corner. And Luster, honestly, it doesn't look like I've ever touched it. So that will be new. But this is a good brow bone color. Then you have Stila Kitten. This is a good crease color. This is a really pretty reddish brown bronzy color. Same thing with this Bubbly. It is a perfect gold. And then these two, this is definitely darker brown. And this is kind of a brown. It's just hard to pick up because it has so much shimmer. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, that gilded gold, the brown, it doesn't have, I had to swipe it a ton to get that much. And then that's how that one looks. So, it will be interesting. I have to say, because the shades in here that I like so much, even if I don't like these four, the shades in it that I do like are good enough to make it okay for me. And it did come with an eyeliner. I don't know if I still have that eyeliner or not. I don't think it's relevant. It was in Damsel. So, I am really excited to be using this. Y'all have no idea. I was so sick of the Laura Mercier. I did cheat on it a few times, what you had seen in previous videos. I was using MAC Eclair Paint Pot. It's kind of like an all-over swipe and go look. I did use my ColourPop shadows that I got, the Kathleen Lights Quad One Day. And then I did use the Too Faced Natural Mattes palette that I picked up recently, a day or two, which, side note, these are really amazing. So I think I'm going to use these for a 1 month, 1 palette, one day with maybe like a little duo or trio shimmery one because, you know, since they are all mattes, I think I may do that to kind of spice things up a bit. So that is my 1 month, 1 palette. This is the only new palette I've picked up recently, so I think I can still probably stay on course for finishing up this year, I hope. But I did, as I was going through my collection, I realized that my Too Faced Boudoir Eye palette was in a drawer and not with my big eyeshadows, so I don't know if that would be one that somebody would want to know about. And then the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette, the original one, I do have, but I depotted it. So I don't know. I just don't know how I'm going to get into those because, like, I've been doing just big palettes, so I don't know when we get to the smaller ones how that's going to go, but we'll see. I may do I could always do like all the Too Faced palettes all together. The natural palette, the natural matte, and the Boudoir Eyes. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think, but I'm definitely using this month. I cannot wait because if you know me at all, you know these colors are totally up my alley, except for that one. So that's all for this month. I will let you guys go, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.